This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
I will start with the opening statement, brief one from Coach, and then we'll go to the student athletes.
You know, there's a lot of good that came out of tonight. I'm frustrated and had some things, man, I shouldn't be. That's my fault. You know, I've been a guy that's coached some really powerful offensive teams, and when I see some of the mistakes we're making offensively, I get upset when I probably shouldn't, because we're guarding so well that we're able to make these mistakes. But me, I'm sitting there thinking, God, if we could not do the mental mistakes that we're making with how we're guarding, you know, but I mean, we got a 15-point or 13-point plus margin in games, and we're 12-3, so maybe I should just cool down a little bit with our offense and just let the kids play. So I'm learning too. After 39 years, I guess I can learn too. So we made 16 out of 18 from the free throw line. This guy over here next to me hit some clutch shots. They cut it to 5, and he made an elbow jump shot. And Martez was who he always is. Martez shut down Cole Murray. He only got 3 looks at the basket. Martez chased him around the whole game and still was able to score 21 for us. So I got some great players that are doing a lot of good things, and maybe I need to cool down, just let them play.
All right, questions for the student athletes?
Xavier, you got a lot of inside buckets early in the game, seemed to help keep the team in it early in that first half when it was struggling. How would you assess your game?
You know, I think I did a good job at finishing. You know, I wish I could have rebounded the ball better, but, you know, I think that early on, you know, making those easy drop-ins helped us a lot. And, you know, I feel like if I would have rebounded better, then that could have helped, you know, us better moving forward.
Xavier, how much you work on those face-ups? Because that definitely adds a different element to the inside game.
I've been facing up has been something like I've been doing for probably about a year. You know, I work on it every day in practice, but, you know, that's a last resort. I really like getting the ball, you know, ducking in, getting it as close as I can, but if I have to, you know, I can.
Martez, you guys held them scoreless over a 4-minute stretch there in the second half when the game was decided. And when Coach brought up your play against Cole Murray, you kind of had a nice little smile that came on your face. You're more concerned with that than the 21 points, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, that was my assignment tonight. Just don't give him no looks. You know, he's good coming off screens, and he caught me on the screen and made his first attempt, and it was late in the game, so I was kind of heated at myself about that. But, like, all in all, like I said, coaches, we just got to fix our mistakes on the offensive end.
Martez, how do you feel about the coach's assessment about the offense and that it could be much more efficient and doing some things maybe more from the outside too?
He's not wrong at all. You know, he's been here long enough to know what he got. So you just gotta let the offense come through it. You know, just flow, just have a flow of the game, and, you know, give it to our bigs, let him get going, and, you know, kick it out. You know, and we get threes and stuff from there.
Xavier, do you like that when you see the team go out into a zone like that? Because it seems to change the offense. It works through you at the elbow, and you kind of be able to pick whatever you want to do.
I like when teams go zone. I feel like when teams go zone, that's, for me, like, I can do a lot more. I can flash. I can duck in easier. So that's me. Like, if I see somebody go zone, like, I'm either trying to duck you in, I'm trying to get movement, and when the ball comes into me, like, it's easier to get the ball back out because guys are focused on me. So personally, I like when teams go zone.
Martez, early on the team was struggling from 3, but then you hit a couple late there in the end of the first half. Do you put pressure on yourself to make shots to help this offense, or do you kind of feel like you need to let the game come to you?
Most definitely. I always put pressure on myself when I miss, because I practice shooting those shots, and, you know, I kind of rushed a few of them tonight and a few layups too, of course, but just learning each day I step out on the court and get better and listen to what Cappy is telling me.
And how are you feeling about the upcoming matchup Friday versus Valpo?
I'm very excited. I'm waiting to play them.
Yeah, I can't wait. You know, Valpo beat us twice, and we always had that chip on the shoulder that we are always better than them. Last year, you know, we didn't come through, but this year I think guys are really ready and mentally prepared. I feel like last year we really weren't mentally prepared. This year I believe we're more mentally prepared than ever, and personally, I can't wait.
I know you probably would have traded some of those rebounds for makes, but I think I counted you guys rebounded 17 of your own 40 makes, at least officially. It's a good number against a good rebounding team.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the top 10 rebounding teams in the country coming in. They don't look like they would be, but they're very well coached, and they check out, and they They've played a very good, they've played West Virginia, they've played Penn State, I think, West Virginia and Illinois. They played a couple big-time teams, and to have a plus 10 rebound margin is pretty amazing. In all my years of coaching, I've only had one team. We had a Division II team lead the nation in rebounding once at plus 14. But no one's ever been plus 10 other than that team. So that's an amazing stat. And to out-rebound, which I think is always a question mark in my mind about our team, was something that I really, really am glad about. We didn't shoot it very well, so there were a lot of rebounds to get, but that was a lot of rebounds for them to get. So I'm very pleased with the rebounding. Not real pleased with our decision-making, but then I look at the stat sheet, and we have 8 turnovers and 17 assists, and 27 of our baskets had 17 assists on, and think of what it would be if we could make shots. One of the things I think I'm frustrated with is I felt this would be one of the best shooting teams I've ever coached, and we just don't make shots. And we don't take good shots. The shots we want, we turn down, and then we go get a bad shot, and then, like I said earlier, it's my problem. I'll just have to work on it.
Coach, is your offensive struggles, has that inhibited your ability to see how good you guys are defensively? I mean, this is, my time around this program, this is far and away the best defensive team we've seen.
Well, we put ourselves in defensive peril all the time with our shots. I mean, Stevie, we knew that Holland was going right, okay? So forget I said that player's name. A player was guarding him, and the kid beat him right for a layup. We go down, and the kid tries to make up for it by going down and shooting a 50-footer with no passes that bricks out and leads to a fast break layup. And what we do on offense puts our defense in such bad situations. It's amazing to me what our defensive numbers are. I mean, they shot 42%, but I'll bet you in the half court where they didn't get the transition or our stupid play leading to something, they probably shot 35%. And they got very few offensive rebounds. Their offensive rebounds came in transition. So that's the frustrating thing, that if we can fix what we're doing on offense, the defense could even be better. To answer your question, I don't make statements about teams until the season's over. We were a good defensive team last year. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what any of our fans think. I don't care what anybody in the media thinks. We were a good defense. You don't win 23 games unless you're a good defensive team. Our field goal percent defense last year was like 42. John Beilein at Michigan, when he talked to me about Sadi, one of the things he said to me in our conversation when he was deciding whether he was going to hire Sadi or not is what Sadi's role in our defense was, because he saw our numbers and how good we were defensively last year. The fans don't want to admit that, and the media is never going to admit that about us. We were a good defensive team. When you play at 80 possessions and you go up and down like we go up and down, you're going to give up points. Now, we're not playing at 80 possessions this year because our best asset is our defense. So maybe I'm smart enough to understand that. And that's why we're only playing at 73 possessions. That's 7 possessions is a lot, all right? So, yes, to answer your question, I do believe that this could be the best defensive team I've ever coached, but we're only 14 games into it. Let's talk about that in March.
How'd you feel about the balance between the outside shots and the inside? It seemed like Xavier was able to get some things early, but then there was maybe over-reliance on shooting the threes.
Who's got a phone? Okay, get to your calculator. I'll tell you what I feel about the balance. What's 23 of 67? What's the percentage?
34.3.
We didn't shoot enough outside shots. I want us to be between 38 and 42%, somewhere in there. 38 to 42% should be threes. So we didn't shoot as many. Now, maybe we were smart. Again, maybe I'm the bad guy. Maybe I'm the one that's not seeing things here. Then maybe our players were smart enough to see they weren't making them, so they didn't shoot them. But 34% is usually not a number I like. I like it. If it's above 42%, it's too many. And usually if it's below 38, unless we blow somebody out and they're just giving us baskets. But in a hard-fought game like this, a 46-60, we've recruited guys that can shoot. And remember, if you make 4 out of 10, you get the same amount of points as if you make 6 out of 10, from inside the 3. So that's our philosophy. I'm not in a very good mood, am I? I'm sorry for that. I don't know. Anything else?
Any questions? All right, we're good.
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a happy New Year.